We are constantly asked, how difficult is the LNAT? And just as often, how do LawMint's practice tests compare to the real exam? The honest answer surprises most people. So let's dig into it properly. Here is the direct answer up front. The difficulty of the LNAT is completely subjective. There is no single number that applies to everyone because so much depends on who is sitting in that chair. Imagine two people climbing the exact same mountain. If you ask them how hard it was, one might tell you it was a gentle walk in the park. The other might say it was the most grueling climb of their entire life. Their experiences were completely different, even though the mountain in front of them was exactly the same. The perceived difficulty comes down to personal factors, their individual fitness, their years of climbing experience, and the specific gear they carried all shape how that mountain feels underfoot. It works in exactly the same way with the LNAT. If two candidates sit the identical test, their performance depends entirely on their starting skill level and how thoroughly they have prepared. Even if neither candidate has prepared at all, their natural reasoning ability and their command of English will make an enormous difference to how difficult the test actually feels. So how do we calibrate our own test to match the difficulty of the real exam? We lean heavily on data from the official LNAT average scores published each year. When you receive your official score, you also see the average score for everyone who took the test that year. Over time, that figure has consistently hovered around the 50% mark. That average tends to fluctuate by roughly plus or minus 10%. It sounds like a huge swing, but remember, there are only 42 questions in Section A. Each question is worth about 2.4% of your score. That means getting just 4 questions right or wrong can shift your overall percentage by nearly 10%. Because the official average sits around 50%, we aim for exactly the same target. The average score on LawMint's practice tests is deliberately calibrated to land near 50% too. We achieve this by analysing anonymised data from everyone who uses our 2 free tests, and from the far larger set of paid practice tests behind them. If our average creeps too high, we identify the questions almost everyone gets right. We then judge whether they are simply too easy and whether they need to be replaced. If the average drops too low, we examine the questions almost everyone gets wrong. We check whether they are genuinely too hard or merely confusing, and revise them accordingly. You can actually test the calibration yourself with a simple experiment. First, take an official LNAT practice test, and finish Section A strictly within the 95-minute time limit. Then take a LawMint Level 2 practice test under those exact same timed conditions. If you use our free full-length test, aim to finish its 30 questions in about 68 minutes. When you are done, compare only your percentage scores from the 2 tests. Do not compare the raw scores because the number of questions in each test is different. You will most likely find the 2 percentages sit within that plus or minus 10% range we talked about. That is calibration working exactly as intended. Keep one thing in mind. Official LNAT model papers are retired questions, and there are only 42 of them, so your material runs out almost immediately. LawMint, by contrast, offers 200 full-length tests, split into 100 Level 1 and 100 Level 2 papers. That is 8,400 questions covering easy, medium, and hard difficulty. Don't leave your law school application to chance. Head over to lawmint.uk, try the free full-length LNAT practice test, and unlock the full series of 200 tests with 8,400 multiple-choice questions. And subscribe to @LNAT Prep on YouTube for more.